Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're deconstructing what we're calling digital dynamite, that secret formula that makes some online content just absolutely explode, while other stuff, well, it just fizzles out. I mean, you know the feeling, right? You're just scrolling along and then bam, a video just stops you in your tracks. It's so polished, so high energy, it's basically impossible to ignore. It just feels electric. So what's the secret behind that professional gloss?
Well, it often starts with a visual language that's built on intense, vibrant color. You can just forget about plain white backgrounds. This is a whole world saturated with energy. It's a visual feast, really, designed to pull you in before you've even read a single word.
Then you've got this dynamic energy. Every single element on the screen, from the subjects to the graphics, feels like it's in motion, like it's bursting with this kind of high-contrast kinetic force. And what ties it all together is this bold, often 3D typography. It doesn't just present information, no, it screams for your attention. It's all about conveying excitement and a real sense of urgency. So, the big question is, how is this super glossy, professional feel actually engineered? Because this is not just some random artistic flair, it's a formula. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down exactly how it turns complex topics into some of the most compelling content online.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the high-impact visuals, then we'll get into the substance, see the whole formula in action, and finally ask, is this the new gold standard? Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, engineering virality. Because you have to understand, none of this is accidental. It's a very calculated approach right from the very beginning.
And that brings us to the high-impact visuals. It really all starts with a blueprint designed for one very specific purpose: getting that click.
If you ever get a chance to look at a creator's style guide, it shows you just how precise this recipe is. The rules are pretty much non-negotiable. Use vibrant colors, absolutely forbid white backgrounds, and make the typography pop. This isn't a list of suggestions. We're talking about strict adherence to a visual formula.
And right here, you can see those rules in action. The compositions are designed to feel open and really fluid, avoiding any kind of rigid boxes or frames. The goal here is to create something that feels cinematic and dynamic, not like some static web page. But look, visuals are just the hook. Now we get to the real power, the substance. This is all about pairing that visual flash with the fire of a deep dive analysis.
To really see how this works, we're going to use a deep dive into a Bruno Mars track as our case study. So let's make that shift from style to substance.
The analysis starts with something simple, just hard data, 122 beats per minute. Now, this isn't an opinion, it's a fact. And starting here immediately grounds the argument in something concrete, and it builds this foundation of credibility. Then, it moves into these really complex technical concepts. See, the explainer doesn't just say the song sounds good. No, it defines the high-end production techniques, like this one, that give the song its signature modern meets vintage sound. This is the proof of deep research. You don't have to be a musicologist to see the incredible level of detail here. By breaking down the song's core music theory, the creator is proving they've done their homework, and that earns the viewer's trust for all the analysis that's about to follow.
So, how does all this data become a story? Well, that is the formula in action. It's all about turning those technical details into a compelling narrative.
So here, you see the highly technical detail of, say, a 1962 Fender Stratocaster and a Dumble Overdrive, and it's transformed into this captivating, memorable phrase, creamy lightning. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know emotionally about the sound. And the analysis of the song's theme, it becomes this evocative, emotionally resonant summary. This is not just a review anymore, it's storytelling. And phrasing like this is both really smart and highly entertaining.
And finally, the formula brings you into the conversation. Questions like this one completely shift the analysis from a lecture into an experience. It makes you an active participant, and it connects all those technical details to a feeling you've probably had yourself.
So when you combine that meticulous visual design, the deep research, and that charismatic narrative, what do you get? Well, you get what might be the new gold standard.
What you get is a clear, repeatable formula. It starts with the visual hook, it powers through with a substantive deep dive, and it delivers it all through a compelling narrative synthesis. Every single step here is essential. This combination of style and substance is so much more than just a trend. It's really becoming the new gold standard for powerful educational content online. It respects your intelligence as a viewer while at the same time demanding your attention.
You know, the big takeaway here is that the lines are blurring between education and blockbuster entertainment, and that leaves us with a final thought to consider. In a world that is so saturated with content, is this highly engineered approach no longer just an option, but a necessity for anyone who actually wants to be heard?